You really have to be diligent in using the bottle and the techniques that the NICU team have taught you. Good morning. I am having trouble deciding which bottle to switch to. These are all bottles that were on my registry. He's kind of growing out of the small bottles that the NICU gave us. He just needs larger volume to eat. But unfortunately, these bottles seem to have like extra slow flow, or this one is a slow flow. And he actually needs like a heavy flow nipple, which is the nipples that they gave us in the NICU, because he is premature, so he can't suck very hard, which is also why he can't breastfeed at the moment. My lactation consultant, we had like 3 appointments, and she said that he's just not ready. Like he's gonna tire out, and then he'll not get what he needs, and then he'll lose weight, and you don't want that. So it's best to pump and bottle feed at the moment with these heavier flow nipples. I don't know why I got extra slow flow. I think I was just thinking about having a regular newborn, and here we are. He needs a heavy flow. And I don't know if these MAM ones are regular flow or if I'm gonna have to look it up, but I don't know, the nipple seems too big for him. He might still need those small ones from the hospital. I guess I could try to see if they fit on one of these bottles, or just have 2 bottles ready. It's a shame too, because I really wanted to try this one because it has this anti-colic air vent for the bubbles that get in there, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, slow flow is not gonna work for him. Oh, wait. Nipple with multiple feeding holes available in 3 flow rates. Oh, I wonder how I do that. Nope, all 3 of these are the slow flow, so I think I have to buy the heavy flow nipple. Yep, and this one has only 1 hole, so I kind of feel like that's also a slow flow. He started cluster feeding last night for the first time. It's crazy. I thought babies cluster fed like right when they were born, but he's kind of waited almost a couple weeks. Sorry, I have a headache. They're getting better though. What was I saying? Yeah, it was just really surprising last night because he normally waits like 3.5 to 4 hours between feeds, and it was like every 1 to 2 hours, and he wanted the full amount. And this morning he had his full amount and like stayed awake for over an hour and still was making like hunger cues and everything. So I made him an additional ounce of formula because I just can't produce that much breast milk at the moment. Hoping that gets better too. I think I'm doing about 80 ml to 85 ml now. So it is increasing gradually, but not at the rate that he wants it. But our pediatrician and the NICU did recommend to supplement with the NeoSure because it is specifically for preemies and it has a bunch of good stuff in there to help them grow. And at his last appointment, he had already grown like 1/4 of an inch. And yeah, I'm hoping at his follow-up he'll be back to his birth weight. I'm just really hoping. I've gotten a lot of comments about like, just put him to the breast, just put him on your nipple, just breastfeed, stop the pumping, blah, blah, blah. And it's just really not that simple. I think I explained it already. Not that I should really have to explain it, but premature babies, like some of them, I know some of them do outstanding immediately breastfeeding, but my son, that is not the case. He had a rough go just learning to feed from a bottle. I don't want to go into too many details about everything that he went through in the NICU, but trust me, we are doing our best, and we are doing what's best for him and what our pediatrician and the NICU team all recommend. We are doing exactly what they're telling us to do. So that's why I don't just put him on my boob. When you have to have your baby lying in a position and have their bottle lying in a specific position, and you have to help them remember to breathe while they're eating, like you can't mess around with that. Like, you really have to be diligent in using the bottle and the techniques that the NICU team have taught you to prevent choking and death. So trust me, we're doing best by our son and doing exactly what is necessary for him. I wouldn't necessarily say these comments were like shaming or shamey in any way. It's just, people that, just don't understand. And, whatever worked for them, they're suggesting, and I get that. But, yeah, it is a little bit frustrating to see that many comments that are like, just put him on the boob, because it's like, I wish I could. I would love to do that and have that connection and everything. But right now, I have to do what's safest for him. So, I know y'all mean well. Don't poke your eye out, honey. Can I help you? Do you know that there's a baby here, Damien? Do you know? So we still haven't technically introduced him to the cats yet. I think they're aware of him now, because when we have him downstairs, he makes noises and everything, and they kind of show an interest. And when I'm up in the nursery, they're definitely all hanging out outside the door like, hey, what's going on in there? So they are aware of his presence. Squawk. You think he's cool, huh? Yeah. Like I said, they're aware of him. They haven't made physical contact just yet. But someone made a really fantastic point, is that, because I don't know people that are allergic to cats, so I don't know what it takes to, to cause an allergic reaction. But a few people were like, you would know within minutes, like, of bringing him home if he was allergic to cats. So it's been maybe 4 days since I cleaned the dander off the couch, and we're sitting on the couch, and he's just fine. So I don't think that he has a cat allergy, which is good. And we did take him on that walk earlier, and didn't seem to have any like allergies, and there's a lot of pollen in the air and stuff. So that's all good things, I think. Yeah, I think really just gonna wait on the physical contact with the kitties for a while. Don't you worry, it's coming. Well, I finally ate something. It's noon now. I was just thinking about this while we were on our walk earlier. There's so many things that I took for granted before I went to the hospital for 63 days. Like, my love of nature. I mean, I definitely have always appreciated nature, but I haven't been in actual nature. And I mean, even the neighborhood's not actual nature, but just seeing, like, evergreen trees and the bark on the trees, and just, it's all stuff that I grew up with and that I love, and I just missed it so much while I was in the hospital. Another thing was freedom to go anywhere that I want to, because I couldn't obviously leave the hospital grounds, but I really really took for granted the ability to just go to a store and go browse and do whatever I wanted. Now obviously it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to take a bit more steps to go do stuff like that. But yeah, we went to Target and Costco the other day, and it just felt so good to do something normal, even if it's just going to Target, going to a restaurant and eating at a restaurant. Like just normal everyday things that people just do. It felt so good to do because it was just a normal thing. I think one of the hardest parts about this postpartum experience, all postpartum experiences are difficult, but I think because I was on bed rest for 63 days, my muscle tone just went away. Like, I still did my walks and everything, and I definitely am so grateful that I was able to do that. But man, walking up the stairs the first 5 days was super hard. It was like I had so much pain. Like when you work out and you like hit it real hard and you have that body wide pain, it was like that just from walking up the stairs. And I like to skip steps, not when I'm holding him obviously, but I tend to like to skip steps, so I kind of work on the hamstrings and the glutes, and could not do that at all. It was like impossible. I'm slowly starting to try doing that. Like when I bring my milk up from the fridge, I'll skip the steps just to try to build strength back in my legs. But yeah, it's definitely, I feel for people that are forced to be on bed rest or who can't do much movement, because it really does atrophy your muscles, and it makes it so much harder just to do regular things. I'm also a lot heavier this time postpartum. I want to say I have 70 pounds to lose to get back into my wardrobe. Obviously, whether that happens or doesn't happen, I don't really care because I have him now, so it was worth it. Some of that could still possibly be water weight because I feel like I'm still puffy. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know with Kaia, they didn't do all the fluids and everything with her birth, and I sort of like ripped the IV out when all was said and done, and I left like the next morning. Like I just really wanted to be home, whereas this time I was there for a lot longer and on a lot more bags of fluid. Seriously love when they rest their face on their hands. It's so cute. I just put Karen down for a nap and I am fading so hard. So I think I'm going to call it quits for today, and I will chat with y'all probably in a few days. Bye.